All right, grand finals, ESL Open Cup number 179, spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the blue Terran for Team Liquid. It's Clem. And his opponent in the lower left, God's Gift to Protoss, is Sidestorm Gaming's MaxPax. Taking down Kelzer. Kelzer was looking very strong today, and taking that first game off of MaxPax, very impressive. However, Clem, a different kind of player a little bit, I would say. I'm interested to see what Clem's going to bring to this matchup right now. I haven't, you know, MaxPax is such a different player than Showtime. We just saw Clem versus Showtime a little while ago, but it's hard to, I don't know, it's hard to like compare them. I really don't think MaxPax is going to play that similarly. He did go for some Phoenixes though, which we saw Showtime go for, so we might see some similarities. These two, both Clem and MaxPax, like to take just a few early game units and put pressure on. They like to poke and prod. They love those little micro battles. So it'll be interesting to see who wins, if anybody. I feel like a lot of them might end up with kind of neutral moments. But so far, nobody's starting off with anything too cheeky. This Reaper taking a bit of a funky path. Maybe checking if there was anything out here. Oh, I guess it just took the Reaper jump off. Not that funky. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here with this Reaper micro. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I mean. Clem's like, can't get me. Can't get me. Can't get me. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And I didn't even notice this earlier. MaxPax did go ahead and drop a pylon, and that's going to have a gateway at it. The Reaper, unfortunately, not going to get the scout off on that. So Clem does not realize that that is there. Reaper is back on the other side of the map, ready to dance with another Adept. Helene and a Widowmine here for Clem. But one more gate coming up and a Twilight Council in MaxPax's base. So he's going to do the exact same thing he just did to defeat Kelzer. We'll see how Clem handles it. He's going to handle it by killing that Adept. I did not mean to zoom all the way out here, but it does give us a good shot of what's going on. Ooh, Clem pulling away from that bunker, thinking it'll be a better way to kill this Adept. He is right, but he needs to get back in that bunker because these Stalkers are here as well. A few SCVs already starting to go down. This is becoming a real problem for Clem. Widowmine going to help to zone. MaxPax just walks away from it. It's a really good strategy against Widowmines. However, the Hellion and Reaper come back to help out in this fight a little bit. Marines trying to chase this down. It looks like the Stalkers will go down, but as I say that, two more Adepts show up. Clem with some fancy pickup micro here. Does he need to get back into the bunker? No, he just needs to keep doing the fancy pickup micro. Oh, he's dodging the Adept shots. How? How does he do that? How does he tell what's being targeted when there's so little and they're so close together? Finally, one Marine goes down, but the tank pops out, and MaxPax needs to get out of here, man. These three Stalkers are not going to do it, not without Blink. And MaxPax loses all of those early game units. He killed a bunch of Marines, but Clem, he still has the bunker up. That Reaper somehow stayed alive. He's got a tank out and a second one nearly done. That one can head out into the main in case the Stalkers decide to blink up in there. I don't think MaxPax has a Robo. It's on the way, so there's no danger of a Prism. There's not really a good way for MaxPax to get into the main base And I think Clem is very well defended. MaxPax taking a base. Realizing that that didn't go super well for him. This is a Widow Mine in this medevac. But MaxPax is mostly back at home. Or at least partially back at home, so gonna be able to defend that drop. The Raven going out as well, gonna do some auto turret harass. Keep that Reaper alive, dude. This Reaper, honestly, the fact that Clem has kept this Reaper alive for so long is insane. Clem's gonna siege up, realizing roughly where the gateway is, start putting pressure onto it. I think he will just take it down. MaxPax might want to try to come in and pick off a couple of units. He's gonna go for the siege tank. Oh, I don't know if I like that though. Losing a lot of stalkers for that siege tank. The Reaper finally falls, but I think it was well worth it to get those extra stalkers. Gateway is gonna go down. Yeah, I really don't think that was worth it. Losing more stalkers. Getting the siege tank is certainly nice. Makes any push a little bit weaker, but I think Clem is actually in the better spot here. I will say this third base feels very, very late. MaxPax is done. It's up and running. He's 10 workers ahead. He's chronoing out more probes. Clem's third base is about a third of the way done here. It's not even on location. He's down in workers. He has a significant army lead, but without stim and combat shields, he really can't use that just yet. And the Observer is going to spot exactly when these medevacs come out, which will likely be when this push happens. MaxPax just poking with 5 stalkers. Pick off some Marines with this. But that is about it. Back at home, he's getting into Colossi. Thermal Lance charge and +1 all on the way. He's getting into that stronger army that could defend a push. No, but still, Clem is way up in army supply, man. 54 to 29. Whatever that was just died. There was a Raven earlier. That seems to have died. Maybe that was what just died right there. Yeah, because this medevac's still chilling here. But Clem's pushing across the map now. The Observer is getting scanned and not quite killed. But the Stalkers have not realized where the army is. That probe is going to realize it, but not before the tanks siege up. The Widow Mines get burrowed. And now MaxPax taking some damage here. Loses, I think that was the Cyber Core, so no Stalkers can warp in. Charge is about to finish though, so I think he's okay warping in. Zealots. Oh my god, the pylon. Whew, depowering 3 gates. Fortunately, Charge is kept alive. This is nice damage for Clem, but he has to be careful not to just lose everything in a straight up fight. MaxPax might be able to jump on this army, especially if it unsieges. Oh, he's going to go for it. He did not wait for the unsiege. He just wants to take the fight. Widowmine's not getting the best shots, but he gets the full surround, kills the siege tanks, and the Colossi are mincing up this bio. A lot of the Stalkers die, though, so these units can get lifted up and taken out of there. Clem actually takes a much better fight than I had expected. But MaxPax, I think, is happy to just get rid of those units. Oh, my God. That Widowmine actually got a Zealot kill. I can't believe it. I think Clem taking that trade there ended up being really nice for him. MaxPax just happy to push it away, and now he can just group his army together and take a bit of a better fight. But as I say that, the Zealots are very late to the party, coming in 1 or 2 at a time, really taking a lot of damage. The Colossi are doing so much work here, but when they're on their own, they will just get targeted down by these Stim Marauders and absolutely demolished. So they need to pull back. They need to get by a shield battery, by some fresh warpins. Clem keeping the pressure on. This 4th base is going down. Clem spots it with that Marine. His 3rd base has obviously been up and running for a while. He's actually ahead a couple workers. MaxPax struggling to keep up that worker count. Maybe just more focused on continuing to hold this pressure from Clem. Clem is up quite a bit of army supply. He has been this whole time. Ooh, this run by hitting it kind of a bad time. Clem realizing it. MaxPax gonna hold these Zealots to the side and wait for a better opportunity. Something we've seen him do before, and he's really good about that. He's very patient with these run-bys, not just sacrificing the Zealots for nothing. Waiting until a few units leave, but it looks like there's still maybe enough here for Clem to hold on to this run-by. Same time, Clem is gonna try to pull down this base. There's too much of an army here, and the Super Shield Battery actually turns itself on the Nexus to try to save it. The battery's gonna get taken out though. Clem thinks he can win this fight. Can he do it? He doesn't have any ghosts, so these Archons are actually quite strong. But the Colossi are now pretty much on their own, and I think this base is dead. MaxPax losing a base. The Zealot run by does get some SCV damage done. And another Zealot run by goes in. There's no units in this bunker. So suddenly, Clem kills a base, but MaxPax getting some good damage done on the other side of the map. I don't think there's a fourth command center right now. So it is just going to be 3 bases to 3. The worker count is dead even, but Clem is still up 40 army supply. And I just heard Ghost Snipes, which means he has teched up to the next level. He almost just demolished MaxPax's entire army, even without EMP. Imagine if those Archons basically didn't exist, or these Colossi had their shields taken off and the Marauders just walked forward and killed them. I think Clem's in a fantastic spot. I'm really worried for MaxPax here. I don't really know how you handle fighting against a Terran with this much more army than you. Both players putting down their 4th bases at the same time. So economically, it's just dead even. And actually with mules, it's going to be in Clem's favor. Zealot run by is a good idea. There's still nothing here. The bunker has not been replaced yet. So even 3 Zealots could do quite a bit. Oh, the Widow Mines are just good, though. They're just good. And Clem's going to put the pressure on again. He's going to attack right where the army is. Shield battery's done, but the Nexus isn't quite done yet. Oh, and there's a lot of Vikings with this. Just going to take down these Colossi in the air. The rest of the units stimming forward. There's not enough ground support for MaxPax, and I think Clem is poised to take this one. He's up 50 army supply, and he is putting a lot of pressure onto these Colossi. Overcharge on the shield battery. Clem will back up, at least for now. Disruptor comes out as well. It's really good for MaxPax. But he's just got so little army. 24 army supply, 22 as a Stalker dies to a Widow Mine. The Prism hits the main, somehow getting out here. I don't know how it did that. There's a handful of units. No, the Prism gets sniped by 1 Marine. Oh, it had 4 Zealots in it too. And Clem will be able to clean this up easily. Another victory for him, and MaxPax falls under 100 supply, while Clem is up at 157. And MaxPax, he's got his 4th base up and running, but guess who else does? Clem is now going to really put the pressure on. If the Prism is dead, it's going to be a while before MaxPax can really threaten any counter pressure. I mean, he could run some Zealots by, but that is about it, and I don't really think that'd be very useful right now. He needs those Zealots back at home. He's got to hope these Widow Mines do some friendly fire, but they really don't. They just kill the Zealots, and there's so much bio here. The Vikings take down the Colossi. They could land and be a part of this fight now. The Disruptors have already been used up, and Clem takes game number 1, looking incredibly strong against MaxPax there. Very, very good micro at the start of that game. I kind of mentioned it. Both players like to be very aggressive with those first few units. They like to just get the little micro battles, the little pokes and prods at each other. And Clem absolutely won those fights, those little micro battles. The Reaper was really annoying against the Adept, but really it was the Adepts and Stalkers diving into Clem's base. But that Medevac giving him the ability to just avoid. He avoided, what, like 8 or 10 shots? If you do the damage there, that kills probably every single unit on the ground. The rest of us would have just lost. That's it. We just lose. And by the rest of us, I mean even like anybody not in the top 5 Terrans just loses there to MaxPax, I think. But not Clem. And now we'll get into game 2. Going to Ancient Cistern. Just saw a name of somebody who followed my Twitch channel. It's good. I like that. I appreciate goofy names. Let's get into game number 2 here. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner, we've got our blue Protoss. For Psystorm Gaming, it's MaxPax. And planning to mlem for everybody out there in Twitch chat. It is Team Liquid's Clem. I do miss when Clem was on the Mlem clan. Those are the good days. Those are the good days of Clem. You know what's happened to Clem is that he's joined the Liquid clan, and really he just needs to stay on the Mlem clan. It was much stronger for him. No wonder he hasn't been getting the best results. Got to go back to the Mlem. I actually have a Team Liquid poster. I used to have it behind my stream many moons ago. But actually, I used the poster frame for a different thing, and it's hung up in a different part of my apartment now. My Team Liquid poster is now rolled up in the ball of posters that I've been lugging around with me for 15 years that I don't know what I will ever actually do with. Yes, Wimpy, I am getting Mondays off now. Not quite every week, but hopefully most weeks I'll be able to cover the EPT Cups, Europe and North America. I'm really happy about it because we get the Korean StarCraft every week with the KSL. And then if I cover these, I'll have something from every region every week. Be fantastic. Reminder, if you like this content, follow the Twitch channel. And or subscribe to the YouTube. I mean, or don't. I'm not your father. I can't tell you what to do. You can do whatever you want. Actually, you don't even have to let your father tell you. For most of you. Maybe if you're like a child. You should probably listen to your parents, but if my father told me to do something, I may or may not do it. But you know, you do what you want. I would appreciate a follow and or a subscribe though. And you could be really cool, like other people in the chat, like Wimpy and Raining Bagels, who follow the Twitch chat. I hope you guys better be followers. Imagine being like a 4-year 4-year subscriber mod and not following a channel. Couldn't be me. I think MaxPax follows my channel. I know he's been in chat before. Now he's going for the full wall here with the shield battery to stop this Hellion from getting in. I like that move. The Reaper trying to be cheeky in the meantime, but the Adepts will push both of these units away. Or I guess the Stalker. Stalker and Adept push these units away. Again, cute little stuff here from Clem, trying to put some pressure on. MaxPax on the defense this time. But neither player really taking much damage at all. Just a little bit of back and forth. Clem getting into tanks. Looks like maybe some Raven play out of Clem. I think the Raven last game just kind of died trying to get some auto turret harass. MaxPax building a prism. Blink is almost done. How many gates do we have? Oh, that's 4 gates. And the Reaper just scouted that, didn't it? The second bunker going up, as Clem knows exactly what he's up against now. He's got 2 more barracks building. He's going to swap them onto these tech labs. These tech labs will be very exposed. Funny, we actually just saw MaxPax on this map do a Blink build to kill us there. It wasn't quite 4-gate Blink, but it was very similar. And really took advantage of the fact that the tech labs were facing this direction. Clem getting set up over here. No bunker, but he does have the siege tank, the Raven, and the Marines up on the high ground. Bunkers on the low ground is going to get hit, though. One of them is going to go down. The other one getting targeted. SCVs being pulled to repair. MaxPax doing some fancy micro. Leaves a Stalker behind, though. Oh, man. Somebody wasn't in the control group. Well, one bunker goes down. Couple of probes going down in the meantime, as it looks like there's a cheeky little Widowmine drop. I love that Clem picked it back up, too. Stalker's going to come back in, stop any more bunkers from going down, try to target this one down. They will get it, but at the expense of, I think, one more Stalker. Yeah, just 2 so far. And some hit point damage on these guys, but that's no bunkers on the low ground, and Clem now has to rotate up to the high ground, where he realizes there are units warping in. Another tank does pop out at a very opportune moment as these Stalkers blink forward. They tried to get this tank, but they weren't quite able to. 2 tech labs are just so exposed right here. Looks like a few Stalkers going to stay up on the high ground and try to focus down some SCVs. They should be able to get back here. Ooh, tanking some damage, though. And one of them goes down. Meanwhile, on the low ground, tank gets hit. The bunker getting hit, but it doesn't have any units in it, so all the units outside the bunker are doing a lot of damage in the meantime. At the same time, Widowmine getting more damage done. That was 5 probes I just saw go down. And Clem's going to drop it once again. It should be able to get some more damage. Oh, well, it's on the Stalker. You know what? It kills the Stalker, which means the medevac lives, and it gets out again. And in the meantime, MaxPax has lost so many Stalkers on this side of the map. He has lost 10. I think he just has 9 over here. Okay, 10, 11, 12. He had 3 in the prison. That is still significantly less than he had before. He's going to try to dive in on top of the skin, but stim and combat shields are nearly done. MaxPax needs to be very careful. There's a lot of Marauders out, too, that are really putting the hurt onto these Stalkers. They're trying to blink backwards. They're trying to get the Prism Micro. MaxPax is so good at it, but I think there's just too much, and he's losing a lot. And suddenly, MaxPax is at half the army supply of Clem, who's going to move across the map. The Widowmine goes back in. So much lost mining time here. Woo. Oh my god, he lifted it. I actually wish he just let it go off. No, it's going to go off anyways. It gets another Stalker kill. And that's one less Stalker for this army to worry about. Pretty significant when there's only 9 Stalkers on the map. They're getting called back here. They got recalled, but MaxPax taps out before the fight even happens. He realizes there is just way too much there. And Clem quickly goes up 2-0 against what I would say is the best PvT player in the world. And yet, can't take down Clem. Maybe Clem is the best TVP player in the world. I don't know. We'll see. We're going into game 3. MaxPax needs to win 3 in a row now to win this series. But I'd love to see him take at least 1. I'd love to see him pull it back a little bit, even if Clem is going to win. I don't want it to be a 3-0. We've had so many good matches today. I'd hate to see MaxPax go down like this. But it feels so hard to go up against Clem. Feels impossible. All right. We're getting into Babylon for game number 3. I'm trying to think about what I expect in this map, but I'm not too sure. Maybe something cheeky. This might be the time. You're down 0-2. Maybe you bust out the cheekiest cheekiness. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Babylon, we have Systern Gaming's MaxPax. And if anybody can bust that out, it's this guy. His opponent in the upper left-hand corner. Not averse to some of that very same cheek, but I feel like the way he plays might be a little bit more vulnerable to it occasionally than some other Terrans. This Team Liquid's Clem. However, it is very risky. It's always risky to go for something that's not super standard, maybe something very aggressive. And yeah, both players definitely have the ability to do that. And that means that there's a higher chance of build order victories for either side. Which is always very dangerous. Because like if you go something cheeky against a solid standard player, you can usually let it kind of equalize to a normal place. But if you do something cheeky and your opponent does something cheeky, I mean, it's at that point it's like you just gotta let it happen. Whatever happens, happens. You could just straight up lose or straight up win. Coop being annoying, but gets shoved away. We don't see anything weird here out of MaxPax or out of Clem. Everything looking very, very normal. So MaxPax so far has tried a more standard macro game, Phoenix into Colossus. He tried the 4-gate blink. So far, neither have worked against Clem. So what do you pull out here in game 3? Do you go for something crazy? Do you really try to bring something a little bit different to it? I'm thinking Glade Depths, you know? Or do you go back to standard? Are we going to see like 2 Oracles coming out and then into Blink Stalkers? You know, do you just try to play the normal macro game? I don't know. Clem, I wouldn't be surprised to see Clem go for something aggressive, is what I was about to say before I clicked on this 3rd CC. Second barracks coming up. So Clem's going to do the exact opposite of whatever I was thinking he might do on this map. I've seen this map have a lot of like that early game medevac harass with like a tank. The early game tank pressure. You know like 1 tank and 4 Marines. You just like rally some units across. Seen that kind of stuff a lot on this map. Clem's going for the exact opposite of that. Quick 3rd CC. Second barracks. Just going to get a handful of bio units out. Defend, defend, defend. Anything that MaxPax might throw at him. MaxPax is going for Phoenixes again. So that might allow him to equalize any advantage Clem gets by taking this quick 3rd. It also might be a while before Clem can actually take the 3rd. If MaxPax puts any sort of pressure on him. But that being said, Phoenixes, really, you could just take a base against Phoenixes. This is actually usually one of the best ways to play against Phoenixes, is to just take more bases. Phoenixes will come in and see the setup here for Clem. Like, oh, yeah, you got 2 ranks. You have 3rd base. So this is going to be kind of like a 2-1-1 scenario for Clem. I mean, it is a 2-1-1, at least so far. He might drop a 3rd barracks. But he could end up with like the double drop full of Marines situation. He's got +1 on the way as well. So it could be very strong. Phoenix is just grabbing what they can. Poking in, poking out. MaxPax sees that 3rd CC and knows he can just grab a 3rd. He's got his Robo Bay on the way to start getting into Colossi. There's going to be a lot of Marines out, though. Stim is nearly done. +1 is nearly done. Missile turret going to help push away these Phoenixes. And there's that starport. 3rd racks finishing up as well. I feel like Clem might be able to have a very powerful push here soon. This is really nice damage from MaxPax, though. 4 SCVs, delay on the starport. Gets out of there. I don't think he's lost any Phoenixes. Yeah, he hasn't lost anything. Damn. MaxPax on that 0 loss. Not losing a single unit. Sees a bunch of units here. Now, Stim is done, so the Phoenixes have to be a little bit more careful. Right now, they're looking for some reinforcements. They're just poking at this 3rd a little bit. Yeah, this is exactly what they're looking for. A small group of Marines, they can just get some kills, force some stims before the medevacs are even out, and get out of there without losing anything. It's all just to buy time, because now there's a Colossus out. Shield batteries are up. Thermal Lance is on the way. Phoenix is running into the wrong side of town. Clem is still pushing across, though. He's getting medevacs. I guess the first two are just on the way. Got a lot of bio, but I feel like the shield battery Colossus setup here is pretty good. There's enough Phoenixes to lift up a decent chunk of this army. Makes me worry for Clem a little bit. He's very, very out here. He's got two different groups of bio. Where are their probes going down? How are their probes going down? I don't know. Two probes just went down. Man, Clem is still... He's just out here. Clem just out here. Posturing. But Thermal Lance is done. There's two Colossi and an Immortal next to two shield batteries. And I think you need more than just a small group of bio to deal with that. MaxPax feels the same. He's just going to push forward. Grabs the Widow Mine. Ooh, a little counterattack trying to hit up here. Decides not to dive into the natural. Just going to delay this fourth base as long as possible. I think he must have killed a probe down here. Alerted MaxPax to his presence. Oh, MaxPax is going to take the fourth to the bottom side, actually. There's a fourth CC on the way for Clem as well, which MaxPax will see with this observer. I'm just chilling here. Vikings starting to come out, actually 3 at a time. Oh, there's a second starport. 4 Vikings being made at a time. Clem very, very much committing to this anti-air. Actually, I feel like it's not something I see a lot of these days, is the full committal to the Vikings when your opponent's going Phoenix Colossus. So let's see how MaxPax decides to answer that, because he could go heavy Phoenix and try to get like any Impulse Crystals out, which would give those Phoenix the extra range. As it is, he's just going to jump on top of them. Gets a couple of Viking kills. That's really, really nice, keeping that count as low as possible. Buying time before MaxPax, or before Clem rather, hits that big army. I'm going to bust through the rocks, but I don't think he can push up this ramp. He's going to scan and realize that no, he cannot. He had some ghosts on the way, but I don't think they're here, so these Archons are very scary. Big stim happens, and MaxPax decides to pull back. There's the EMPs. I think MaxPax needs to pull away from there. Oh, but in the meantime, Zealot run by into the third base. A few SCV kills and a lot of lost mining time here. Looks like the Zealots will get pushed away, mostly cleaned up. MaxPax posturing in the middle, like maybe he wants to try to push at the front at the same time, but I don't think he quite has the army for that. Clem is still up quite a bit of army supply. Oh, and he is pincering in on top of this. Yep, MaxPax needs to back up to his shield batteries. Ooh, eating a lot of damage on this Colossus, but the overcharge goes down. The Phoenix come out to fight. The Vikings focusing down the Colossi, though, and while the rest of the army gets EMP'd, the Super Shield Battery is working overtime to try to hold on, but it's not enough to keep everything alive. And so 2 of those Colossi go down. The Vikings have really done their job. Great target fire from Clem. Something I really don't see a lot of, I feel like, is that heavy target fire on the Vikings to get on top of the Colossi. MaxPax drops a 5th base, but Clem's 4th is up and running. You might want to turn it into a planetary sometime soon, but it's mining a lot. 73 to 76 workers. Clem's going to be very happy with this economic position he's in. He's up a lot of army supply, 108 to 63. Damn. He is very low, though. All of these units, they are down 10, 15, 20 hit points. There's only 2 medevacs here. It's a real problem, actually, for Clem right now. He's got 3 more on the way, but he's been so focused on Viking production, every stim is just so painful. And I feel like he really shouldn't be pushing in here, but he is ready to go. He stims these Marauders basically to death. The Colossi getting target fired by the Vikings, but there's only 2 Vikings left, so they got to pull back. Vikings doing their best here. Disruptor Novas forcing another stim. These Marines are all so low, but there's no Vikings to really take advantage of that anymore. So the Marines are still doing so much damage. Widowmine's getting kills here. Clem finally pulls back, but I think he can just win this fight. Oh my god, that's another stim. These Marines literally can't stim anymore, and the Zealots are gonna one-tap them. 15 SCVs went down in the meantime. Clem's third base absolutely ravaged. He did not kill this base. He killed a couple of probes, but mostly Clem just traded with the army. But considering how much of that army died on the retreat, I think Clem overstayed his welcome on the other side of the map and lost a lot of SCVs during it. The advantage Clem had before is now pretty much gone. He's up a little bit of army supply, but that's not that big of a deal for MaxPax. The worker count it was way down for Clem. He's rebuilt a lot of them, and he has this 5th base nearly finished. But certainly, it is no longer an advantage for Clem. Now it feels like a much more even game. MaxPax is out on the map. He's got a ton of disruptors here. Clem needs to realize that he's up against these disruptors and pull back a little bit. He's got a big counterattack. This 5th base looks like it's probably dead. Oh, the recall, though. The recall to get the gateway units home. The disruptors are still in the middle of the map. A little exposed, but also could get the flank. Yep, there's the hot pickup. The Stalkers try to catch up to the Medivacs. They don't quite get there. But now Clem's in a bit of a corner. I don't really like this position against all the disruptors. He doesn't either. He's going to lift up to the low ground, but that might give MaxPax an opportunity to push into the third. No, MaxPax decides to pull back. He killed a few SCVs. He doesn't want to overstay his welcome here. Clem's going to split against these disruptors as MaxPax tries to retreat. I think MaxPax needs to just get the hell out of here. Oh, he's going to try to take a fight. Disruptor's getting targeted down, but they will force Clem to back off a little bit, giving MaxPax time to retreat and get back to this base. Clem, though, doesn't want to give him any time to relax. He knows he's lost more workers. He is down economically. It's 5 bases to 4 right now. Oh! Disruptor gets targeted down. It gets killed. That Nova nearly connecting beautifully. Clem keeping the pressure on. The supplies are so close. Clem is way up in army supply, but he needs to take fantastic trades here in order for this to work. Some snipes going down on the Zealot, but there's so many more Zealots behind that. Another Colossus pops out because the Vikings are all dead. So yeah, build a few Colossi. Get 2 of them out. Clem is up 1 upgrade right now, but plus 3 weapons is about to finish for MaxPax, so they'll both be at 4 upgrades. Clem looks like he wants to try to poke over here. Only a cannon and a shield battery, it could be a good position to push into. He's taking the 5th to the lower left, feeling like he can't hold this top side right now, and I think that's a good call. He's instead going to try to squash on top of this army. The disruptors, there's not a ton of them left. I think it's just 4, and I think there might only be 1 or 2 shots still left in the barrel. MaxPax is going to pull back and try to wait for those shots to come off of cooldown. It takes so long. But he doesn't want to take this fight. One of the Colossi is super damaged. Oh no, a Colossus running into the wrong side of town. The other one backs up in time, thankfully. 8 SCVs went down in the meantime to this run by. MaxPax stopping this 5th base from happening. Looks like Clem will force to cancel on the 6th, but that's the 6th. It's a big difference here. Disruptor Nova is getting sent out, getting dodged mostly, but not entirely. Oh, that Bio Army is dead. I think MaxPax might be able to take this one. As I say that, though, the supplies are still so close. How does Clem have so much supply? Maybe it's the 13 Medivacs and 8 Vikings, because this air army is looking big and beefy, but the ground army is looking garbo. And I'm a little worried that Clem, while he is up army supply, might not be able to keep taking these fights against the MaxPax, who is up 25 workers and a base. Supernova's going out, keeping the army back for now. Clem has been trimming off a lot of the Zealots, though. Archons being morphed as MaxPax realizes he is floating a ton of gas and morphs a bunch of Archons. He's just like me for real. He's going to send those Archons forward, but an EMP chips off a lot of the shields, and this 5th base getting abandoned as MaxPax doesn't feel like he can hold it. Suddenly, the economy is much more equalized. Despite MaxPax being way up workers, he just can't use them as efficiently. He is trying to take this base down here, and he's still stopping this one, but he hasn't stopped this one. Clem finally has a 5th base up and running. A few more SCVs going down. Clem might need to remake some of those, and he is scanned to see that this base doesn't yet exist, but it is being attempted. Oh, and Clem, he might spot these probes that are going over here and realize that the 6th base is trying to get re-put down again. But he's sending some of his army down to the left. He's got some of the army up here, splitting so many medevacs in the sky right now. He's still at 12. He's making 2 more. Force cancel on that base. This bio army gets pushed away. I still don't think Clem has realized this base is here. Recall on the probes to get them up here very quickly. That means there's no recall available for the army, though. It's something important to remember. That's a very long cooldown on recall. Clem is now up in supply. He's only down 6 workers, and he's way up in army supply. He's on +3, and he's about to have +3 armor. No +3 armor on the way for MaxPax, nor are any shield upgrades. Although against EMP, they're really not that great. It's just going to be more disruptors for MaxPax. Trying to hold on, but Clem's trying to hit from the bottom side and the top side. There's maybe not enough disruptors to send Novas out everywhere. Vikings getting on top of the Colossus. EMP's peppering the army. MaxPax pulling back, but there's no shield battery here. There's no follow-up. It's just more disruptors, and Clem has been dodging them so beautifully. The 5th base is going down, and MaxPax is going down as Clem holds on in that game and pulls it back to take the 3-0 victory in the grand finals. I can't believe he's able to 3-0 MaxPax. Damn.